Hey, sweethearts. I hope you and yours are doing great today. Kiki is my name if it's your first time being here. And today I will be talking to you about 15 fantastic Millicent fragrances that are perfect for fall, winter, autumn, whatever you call this season, as well as colder periods. Now, all of these are long lasting, perfectly unisex, and smell amazing. If you'd like to know what these are, why don't you get settled? Hit the subscribe button if you're yet to do so, and let's get into the video. So I broke down this list into three categories to perfectly describe the fragrance notes or cores I like to smell during this time of the year or during the colder months. So I have the sweet, the spicy, and everything in between. Starting off the sweet, I've got a new release from Lattafa, and this is Ajaib Dubai Black, and this is rum is not listed as a note on Fragrantica. I believe the official Lattafa note has rum as a note added to this fragrance. And oh my gosh, so this is Black Phantom by Killian. To a large aspect or a large portion of that was mixed with Cheriosa 71, right? By Sol de Janeiro. So that also has that caramel, almost popcorn like feel, which I'm also getting from here. Now, mix that with Black Phantom by Killian. I believe you're going to get Ajaib Dubai Black, a delicious confectionery of a fragrance, if that makes any sense. This is absolutely delicious. It's making my mouth water. It's that good. Men do not shy away from this, even though I described it in such a very almost edible like fragrance. Women would love to smell it. I would love to smell this on a man. It's gorgeous. Well done. Lattafa has been doing great with their recent releases, and I feel that Ajaib Dubai Black is a perfect fragrance to wear during this time of the year. Check it out. And next we have Amira Oud Intense Oud. I like to call this the OG before the OG. And that's because long before there was camera, we had this fragrance. Now, Amira Oud Intense Oud had a huge following, and that's because they don't speak of it as much as they do the others, like the cameras and all of that. But Amira Oud is one you should definitely have in your collection. Smells like by the fireplace. I mean, this is all about sugar, almost like burnt sugar with creamy vanilla. There's a little smidge of oud. I would say it's more about the woody side of things than the intensity of oud. This is really, really good to have in your collection. It smells absolutely delicious. Um, the more I allow it to sit, the stronger it gets. That's what I've observed about this fragrance. I've had it for going to 3 years. I think I got this when it was launched, and it's still this full because it's quite potent. Only to be worn during colder periods. I don't think this is one you should wear during the heat or even in springtime. It's not really going to be enjoyed. Very potent, long lasting, smells fantastic, and I think you should definitely have Amira Oud Intense Oud in your collection for fall. Next is another new release by Lattfa. So, what do you think about the bottle? Leave a comment. To me, this looks like a palm tree, basically, right? I am growing to like this. I know I'm seeing a number of comments. Some love this, some think it's gaudy. So you see, you have people on opposite sides, so it's quite polarizing. Again, I'm going to like it. I think it's a very unique, artsy bottle, and kudos to Lattafa for thinking outside the box. Now, I don't know though why this was used in a fragrance released during this time of the year and with the notes it has. Nothing within the notes speaks tropical. Okay, so Ajwa focuses on dates and so this is a date heavy fragrance. It reminds me of like Date Delight, Far by Brecourt, Seth by Ujat, like those dates type fragrances. The Dessert Swab by Lily Ked Imaginaire. Then it has the lemons or the bergamots, basically lemons at the top as well. So I imagine those date infused fragrances mixed with lemon is what I'm getting from Adra. That's the best way to describe this fragrance. I can even say that this is a lemon cake sweetened with dates instead of sweetened with sugar or honey. That makes any sense because the lemon stands out, the date stands out, nothing else here. It's not spicy in my nose. Oh, okay, it's spicy, but it's not like an intense, overt spiciness. It's not an overt sweetness. It's just in a class of its own. Yeah, this honestly is like any of those dates infused fragrances mixed with lemons. You cannot miss the lemons. You cannot miss the dates. This is beautiful. I love the uniqueness of the fragrance and the bottle. Now, I do not think that this is one you can enjoy in summertime just because of the dates. But we'll see about that. I've had this for about 2 weeks now and I've been wearing it and just enjoying it and experimenting it with it. But yeah, I feel this is one that will spark a lot of conversation because it has that unique combination of notes and the bottle itself as well. I already have people making comments about it outside of this video. So definitely add Ajwa by Lattafa into your collection. It's about dates, it's about lemons, it's unique, and it's perfect for this time of the year. Next, we have the belle of the ball, the fragrance on everyone's lips. I'm talking about Camera by Lattafa. Now, I remember where we were this time last year. This fragrance was sold out everywhere. Every single person wanted to get this fragrance. Well, everyone who loves fragrances wanted to get this one, and it was just hard to find or come by. And I'm happy to say we're in 2023, and this is still giving a lot of fragrances a run for their money because camera is perfection. Now, just caveat, this is not a dupe of Angel Share. Sure, you've heard that so many times, but just to be clear, it's not a dupe of Angel Share. However, it's a standalone fragrance, I would say. It's focusing on cinnamon and nutmeg with some extra sweetness. I don't think the boozy factor here is even amplified as it is in Angel Share. This is more about cinnamon, this is more about nutmegs, and that's it. And the sweetness, of course, into this fragrance. And once it dries down, it almost feels like it's sort of powdery in the way it smells. Camera is such a delicious fragrance to have. It can be worn on its own. It can be layered with other fragrances. This can get sickeningly sweet for some people. So you want to be careful with the number of sprays you put on. And that is interesting coming from me who loves to overspray. I always go careful. I always go gentle with my sprays. I guess that's why I'm still at this level after a year. Camera is a delicious fragrance, perfect for this time of the year. It works across genders. It works across age groups. I think this is perfect. I won't really recommend this for an office setting, but of course, if you want to go on dates, you want to go out in a more unofficial setting, camera would definitely work. And of course, if you don't have this in your collection by now, what are you doing? Check it out, add it, it's worth it, it's camera. And talking about Angel's Share, I have an actual dupe, and this is Kismet Angel by Mason Alhambra. Now look at this juice. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I've had this fragrance for about 2 months, but this is the perfect time to start wearing it consistently. Kismet Angel is, to me, a one-to-one dupe of Angel Share, period. I mean, from start to finish, you cannot tell the difference. Talking about the brand, Maison Alhambra is a sub company from Lattafa, the parent group. So Lattafa, the parent company, has like Lattafa, Maison Alhambra, I believe La Rive, and a few others. But Maison Alhambra has been making a number of fragrances worth checking out. Kismet Angel, to me, is one of the standouts from them. This is long lasting, smells just like Angel Share. You have the booziness from cognac, you have the sweetness from caramel. Tonka bean is present here for the creaminess as well. The cinnamon here doesn't disappear. It is so beautiful. Compared to camera, this is just intense, long lasting as well, but performs like Angel Share. Now, a tip that I think is under the radar for a number of people is to combine Kismet Angel and camera. If you mix these two together, you will be the best smelling person in the room. You might have a room of people wearing Angel Share, but this combination will make you stand out because it is just gold. It is sweetness. It is booziness. It is caramel deliciousness. It is spiciness. It is intense in the way it performs. What more would you want during this time of the year than this absolutely fantastic combination? Check it out if you have this too. Let me know what you think once you try it out. I'm sure a number of people have been doing it. Like I said, it's under the radar, but I thought to share this with you. And yes, I'm really excited to start wearing this again. You know, the times I've worn it, it's been long lasting, projects really well, sticks to my clothes for a good 24 hours. It smells incredible, pocket friendly. I mean, what is there not to love? Definitely check this out. This is Kismet Angel. Next is another cult favorite from Lattafa, and this is Nebres. Yo, I'm obsessed with this bottle. It is just beautiful. I also remember where I was when this was released. I think compared to Camera, this was easier to get or access. Now, this is loved by a lot of people because it is a dupe for Eilish by Billie Eilish. This mixes fruits with chocolate and some creaminess. You have some sweetness as well from vanilla, and I believe there's tonka bean in here as well. It is so well blended, so delicious that it's just not understandable how affordable this fragrance is. It is gorgeous. I call this a perfect date night fragrance. Okay, this is one fragrance that I recommend you wear on a date night, when you're just about spending a good time with your partner, because this smells ravishing. You will smell ravishing. You will smell so darn good. That's how this fragrance is. Now, in terms of performance, it's not a huge projector, but it will leave about, I would say, a good 1 feet bubble around you. Okay. Because I remember a compliment I got was from a lady in the store, and she's like, "You have a beautiful cloud around you. Whatever that smell is, it smells sugary and sweet." I was like, of course, it had to be that because Nebras was the only fragrance I was wearing that day. So it sticks to your clothes, leaves a good 1 feet bubble around you, which is great, and an amazing scent trail, which is also why it's great for date night. Because, of course, for date night, you don't want to wear like a beast mode loud thing that would choke out your partner. You want something that is enjoyable and appreciated by whoever is next to you. So I definitely recommend Nebras. It's long lasting, delicious. The sugar here is just done right. The fruits here are blended perfectly. The creaminess, the sweetness, fragrance, which is a great alternative to both. I'm talking about Sheikh Al Shia Gold Luxe Edition by Lattafa. This is one of my most worn fragrances from the Middle East, and also one of my most complimented actually. It's such a beautiful fragrance that focuses on rose, caramel, and saffron. The rose feels like it's been dipped in caramel. The saffron feels very fluffy, very fresh. These notes mixed together gives you such a delicious, very enchanting blend of a fragrance. Now, it's a lighter take on Oud Bouquet, I must admit, but with this one, the more it sits, the thicker, the denser, the richer it becomes. in my opinion, talking about compliments, right? This without fail always, always gets me compliments. Like it's so sweet in a well done manner, you know. It's leaning on the cusp of sweet gourmand, but it just doesn't, become sickeningly sweet if I put it that way. This is also one that has to stay within the colder period because during the heat, the sweetness then becomes overt and cloying, and you don't want to deal with this. It is absolutely beautiful from start to finish on my clothes. This stays forever. Again, because it's lighter on skin, it might not stay for a long period of time, but if you spray on your clothes, you will have it for a good full day. It's beautiful. It also has a very slight incense presence. I can tell from this, especially at the cap or the top of my atomizer. I can smell the incense. But overall, this is like a typical Middle Eastern rose oud combination, but it's sweetened by the caramel. It's worth having in your collection. It's actually more affordable than Swiss Arabian. You can imagine that. If you can score a bottle, definitely do. It's beautiful. I also think the way the design of the bottle is done, almost in like a 3D format, is sort of similar to how the original Oud Bouquet bottle was designed or is designed, if you can remember. It also had that sort of 3D um, art deco type feel at the front. But I digress. I think this is worth having and checking out. This is a beautiful fragrance, perfect rose to have during the fall is Sheikh Alshir Gold by Lattafa. And last on the sweet list is Yara Moi by Lattafa. This is from the Yara collection, and this is actually my favorite from that line because it's infused with patchouli, which I truly love as a fragrance note. Now, Yara Moi is such an interesting fragrance because it opens up as a fruity, creamy, caramelized fragrance and dries into like a caramel cookie fragrance with a focus on patchouli. So I love that about it. You get the fruity elements at the opening, you get like a dessert-like take in the dry down, but patchouli is front and center. It doesn't disappear. With the fruitiness, you have like a patchouli feel typical of what you get in like Montpellier and all those other fragrances that have heavy presence of fruit and patchouli together. And then in the dry down, you have that focus on the dessert, the gourmand factor with caramel, something that smells like cookies, and then of course patchouli. I love this one. It's quite a dense fragrance, so you want to be very mindful of your sprays. You also want to know that it's only perfect for the colder periods. I mean, that's the only time you can enjoy this. If you attempt to wear this during the heat, you will regret, you would actually be put off by this fragrance so much. So I would say, if it's not cold where you are, do not consider this fragrance with anything I say. Please do not consider this fragrance. But once it gets really cold, that's when you truly enjoy this fragrance. It has that cuddle weather feel. It's just warm. It's inviting. There's something almost enchanting about the way the fragrance smells and feels. It's like a sweater weather type fragrance. I see. The first fragrance in this category is Amber 07 by Swiss Arabian. Such an underrated gem. This is an interesting one because it combines typical notes found in Middle Eastern fragrances like rose, vanilla, sandal. Roots. You also have amber here for that fluffy warmth that it adds to this fragrance because it's warm and it's dried down. And then you also have the vanilla as well, adding to that warmth that you feel. Overall, this might be a sort of hard fragrance to decipher or to just describe, but I would say that if you want something to build your confidence, if you want a confidence booster, Amber 07 is a perfect fragrance to do that for you. Because once you wear it, you feel sort of majestic. You feel like you're from nobility, like you feel like you're of a certain class, maybe from the upper echelon. It's how it feels with Amber 07. Honestly, to my nose, I cannot deduce if this smells like anything else because I don't have any fragrance that smells like this in my collection, except I'm trying to say this smells like a date fragrance, which I would say it's a lie. But this is just different. Again, typical notes, but it smells different, which I love about Swiss Arabian, and that's what they usually do with their fragrances. This is a confidence booster, like I had mentioned. This will have you feeling strong and powerful, confident. There's an aura that it embodies that you have to embody while wearing this fragrance. It's just a beautiful one. It's also quite potent and a room filler. I mean, you need a few sprays and this will fill up your space. It also has a great scent trail. I would say though that this is hard to come by in terms of an affordable price. So sample first and hopefully you like it and you can then decide to spend your coins on it. But for me, it was a blind buy and a successful one at that. This is Amber 07 by Swiss Arabian. Next on this list is Ard Al Zaafaran by Asdaf. Asdaf is another subsidiary of Lattafa. Now look at this bottle. It's all suede. You have leather at the top, then you have the metal base in the front. I shared this on my channel a few times. It's a love for me. This is one of the fragrances I discovered during the pandemic. It pushed my understanding of Middle Eastern fragrances further. And I'm so glad that I still have this in my collection. I've said this in the past that if I was ever to be on a red carpet, this would be my fragrance because it makes you stand out. It pushes through. It weaves through the crowd of well-dressed people because it has a certain level of elegance. It has certain level of like you feel like you're exquisite. There's something about the way it smells that is just intriguing. It's a bold fragrance, really, and you're not going to smell like everyone else. It's long lasting. It will stick to your clothes. Like if I was to wear this on my clothes, it will be there the very next day, and I'm sure 2 days after. That's how strong and potent this fragrance is. Now it creates a bubble. It projects really well, but then it starts sitting closer to the skin after, let's say, a few hours. Now I've heard people or read people say that this reminds them of Amira Oud Intense Oud. I do not get that at all. This is smoky, this is spicy. Amira Oud Intense Oud is sweet, it's syrupy, it's dense. What I love to do, another layering combination, is to take this and this, pair this together, layer them together, and you will be dynamite. You would burn down the room. In fact, you will make people burn for you. That's how strong and potent and powerful and intense this combination is. You're bringing the sweetness, the density of Amira Oud this in your collection. Next is Exclusive Rose by Maison Alhambra. This is a dupe for Burning Rose by Carolina Herrera. As you can see from the bottle, which sort of mirrors the design of the Carolina Herrera creations. Um, this I don't see a lot of people talking about. That's okay. It's a lovely fragrance. It's a beautiful fragrance. I imagine a seductress wearing this or an enchantress wearing this. You're not saying too much, you're not doing too much, but you're in control. The beauty about this fragrance is I'm not the biggest fan of rose, but I gravitate towards this. Okay. I've not had it for too long anyway, but I enjoy the way it smells. To me, take away the notes. What I'm getting from this is rose in different facets. So I'm getting fresh rose flowers. Then there's rose water and then burnt rose incense. Those three combined, that's what I'm getting from this fragrance. I don't know why those are the notes or the images that I'm having with this, but that's what comes through. So the fresh rose for that freshness, the smoothness. You have the rose water for the airy quality that you also feel with this. And then the burnt rose incense for the spicy kick you get as this progresses while you wear it. It's such a beautiful fragrance. It's a truly, truly divine one. Again, a seductress will have to wear this, an enchantress will have to wear this. Yeah, it's well done. And those are similar aspects you get when you also wear Burning Rose by Carolina Herrera. I've smelled it before, and this compared to that's Exclusive Rose compared to that, I would say Exclusive Rose is about 90-95% similar with that. This is such a long lasting fragrance, a strong fragrance. Spray I love to spray this on myself. I love to douse it on myself once I wear it though. Again, surprising because I'm not a fan of rose, but I love the way it's done here. It lasts really well. It has a great scent trail. Um, After maybe a few hours, it starts sitting closer to the skin, but it still stays on your clothes throughout the day. Again, based on how you spray it. Definitely check this out. Great for date nights. It's a beautiful rose fragrance for fall, and you should add this to your collection. This is Exclusive Rose by Maison Alhambra. Next, I've got Black Afgano by Ard Al Zaafaran. This is from their Privé Couture collection, and this, just like the name says, is a dupe of Black Afgano by Nasomatto. This right here, I would say, is about a 1995% dupe of that fragrance, and I'm telling you, this embodies literally everything and when I say that, Black Afghano by Nasomatto, this embodies a lot of what it possesses. I mean, it's as intriguing as that. It is very sexy. There's something dark about it. It's smoky. It's inky. It's sweet at the top. There's that cannabis note that is hard to miss. Like, it is just great. It is potent at the opening. It is very strong at the opening, but problem is it only stays that strong for about an hour. When it dries pretty fast and becomes a close skin scent. What I've done is once I spray this and I can't smell it anymore, I douse myself in this. And, also, just like the original, you want to be very careful with the spray because the coloring would stain any and everything. So I'm even trying to be careful as I'm speaking right now so it doesn't spill on my. You're getting this powdery creamy quality at an intense dose. And I guess that's coming from the violet leaves. So if you're not a fan of powdery notes, creamy powdery notes, you would not love this. But if you're open to that, you would truly enjoy this fragrance. The powderiness is at an overwhelming level. And that also brings me to the way it performs. This is so, so intense. It has oil in it. So once you spray this, the oil would stick to anything. I sprayed this right before shooting this scene, and I don't know if you can pick the oil. And this is like about 5 minutes before shooting this scene, and the oil still is here. I did not rub it. I did not press it into my skin. Literally, that's the base of this fragrance. So I guess that also helps with the way the fragrance performs or why it's such a strong performance. Talking about performance, this will stay on your clothes for a good 48 hours. It's not even talking about one day. It goes beyond that. 2 days and counting, you will smell this on your clothes. Again, the oil makes it stick to everything, so be careful with that. Overall, this is an intensely musky, creamy, powdery fragrance. So many words to describe how this fragrance truly is. But seriously, if you love your powdery notes, this is a perfect fragrance to wear during the fall. It stands out, it's different, it's special, it's long lasting. It is Perla d'Or by Burrage, a great fragrance for fall. Next, I have Shari by Lattafa. Look at this gorgeous bottle. This is another hidden gem from the brand, and it focuses on spiciness in leather. I'm talking about cinnamon with leather, incense with leather. You also have some dry oud, added here. And the combination of these notes gives you something very loud and bold and in your face, literally. If you're into the idea of such a performance in a fragrance, then you definitely love Shari, okay? It's all about dryness. So you have the cinnamon here being dry. Yes, it mentions notes like vanilla, amber musk, but they do not add to any form of sweetness in this fragrance. So you might think it has some gourmand aspects. No, okay? What I'm getting here is all about the dryness. And I would say that this is a fragrance that works well only in large settings. So like large soirees or parties, going out at night, or if you're around fellow fragrance lovers who understand the idea of niche, because this smells quite niche, then you can wear this around them because again, it's very, very intense and bold and you don't want to repulse or who want to experience something different than the typical cinnamon fragrance found around this time of the year. You know, typically when you hear fall fragrances and cinnamon, you would think it's gourmand, it has sweetness, but here it's dry, it strips away any form of sweetness and allows you to experience another side of cinnamon with leather and other key notes. I hope this makes sense to you, and I think that this is a great fragrance to try out. It's special, it's underrated. This is Shari by Lattafa. And finally, the last fragrance on this list, which is also the only fragrance within the everything in between category, this is K by Fragrance World. My camera cannot capture the artistic beauty of this fragrance, but I just thought to share it here. And fun fact, this comes with a pack of cards. I love the idea behind this. It's pretty neat. Now, K is a dupe of Narcosis by Virtus Oud. Now, if you know that fragrance and how unique it is, just know that every single aspect of it has been perfectly transported and transmitted into K by Fragrance World. Now, this is a very intensely aromatic fragrance at the opening. It can be quite overwhelming, but trust me, it's such an addictive, intriguing fragrance, okay? It opens up with mango, very fleshy, very thick, yummy mango mixed with cannabis. The cannabis is quite potent here, so you want to be very careful. But those two notes intertwine and make something very addictive that really pulls people in. People are wondering, what are they getting? Is it fruits? Is it cannabis? But it really, really works. And Narcissus has been like a gem and a cult favorite among the fragrance community. So K is just continuing with the work that has already been started. It's a beautiful fragrance. Now, you want to be very, very careful when you spray this though, because it is quite potent. It has a long lasting performance. Okay, the sillage is just out of this world. The central crazy. So you want to be very, very careful. Now, I wasn't fully aware of that. So when I got this, I was spraying it over myself because I really couldn't smell it. All I was getting was mango, mango, mango. But as it settled in, I just could get wafts of it everywhere. I haven't gotten any compliment yet because I really haven't worn this to go out. But I do think that this is a fragrance that will pull people in based on how Narcos already performs because I smelled that already. This would definitely be a great compliment getter. But you have once in a while, and what better time to wear a coffee infused fragrance than fall, right? So that's my only reason for having it here, and that's why I call this everything in between. But everything in between, unique addictive, intriguing fragrance, definitely add K by Fragrance World into your collection. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Rather, you'll be impressed. And there you have it, my loves. 15 amazing Middle Eastern fragrances. Yes, I can call them amazing. I vouch for these because they're all from my collection and you know I'm actually wearing them. So yeah. But seriously, these are phenomenal fragrances that you should definitely check out, sample, and add to your collection if you do like them. Have you heard about any of these? Please let me know in the comments. And what are your favorite Middle Eastern fragrances for fall? Please share them with me. I'd love to learn from you as always. Hey, what's your scent of the day? I haven't forgotten to ask you. I'm actually intrigued to know what you are wearing today. Thank you so much for your love, your support, and encouragement. As always, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, share this with your loved ones. It will mean so much to me. I have another great video lined up for you, so I can't wait to see you soon. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and do not forget there is light at the end of the tunnel. Please do not give up. Until next time.